and welcome to Bay Sunday. I'm your host, Ann Makovic, filling in for Kenny Choi. We begin with our pitch. If you have a show idea, we'd love to hear from you. Go to facebook.com/BaySunday and comment on the page. Today we have our usual mix of comedy, a nonprofit helping kids of color with reduced golf fees and scholarships, and a sculptress honoring law enforcement canines. Up first, please welcome author, playwright, activist Jewel Gomez, who is talking about the current project she's co-curating, Best of LezWrites 2016. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
So this is a festival of plays.
It's a festival of 10-minute plays. So one of the best things about that is you can stay for the whole evening. If you don't like one play, the other play will be up really quickly.
It's good. Now, the theme is to explore the politics of being a woman during this election year.
Yeah, it's a very significant. Women are the largest proportion of voters, and all of us are thinking about what we're going to do. But on our day-to-day, we're part of the body politic. So lesbians, of course, are definitely a part of the body politic, and the plays kind of address that from different kinds of ways. Like, what do two elderly lesbians who are in a retirement home do when they realize it's driving them insane? So they hop on a boat and escape. Or, you know, what does a trans man do when he can't figure out what his next steps are as a trans man? So it's connected to the politics, but it's all about your daily life.
Now, when it comes to politics, this obviously is a crazy year. We have our first woman presidential nominee of a major party.
Absolutely.
So how does that sort of a theme dribble down into daily life?
Well, Hillary's campaign does appear in one of our plays because, of course, people are thinking about it, and it's very much fun to get to hear from lesbians in the lesbian perspective about everything. I mean, one of the things people probably don't know, but the topic of lesbians, the subject of lesbians, was banned from the Broadway stage in the 1920s. And it wasn't until the 60s that the ban was lifted. So we got a lot of catching up to do.
And think of how far, though, the movement has come. And politics have had a lot to do with that in the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Do you feel as if, or what sort of role does art play in that, things like plays?
Art is really the keystone to every kind of social movement. I mean, from civil rights to Native American rights. Culture is the thing that moves us and grabs us. And that's one of the things I love about theater. Theater is very sexy because it's live. I mean, that's the key. It's live. I love movies. I love TV. But when you sit in a theater, you're looking at actual people and feeling their energy. So when that energy circles around in a theater, you're moved and you usually think about what you have to say. I mean, one of the reasons we're focused on comedy is because it's really been studied that people, when they see things in a comedic context, they really can take things in. They're less anxious, they're less closed, they're less afraid. And they're laughing, and then they're surprised because they're understanding things. So a comedic approach to the politics is really what's going to be the keynote for this festival this year.
That is interesting. And a lot of your work is also focused on African-American rights over the years. And we also have a huge dichotomy there when you think of, we have our first black president, but also the Black Lives Matter movement. It is sort of this two different ways you can see the country going. Do you address any of that?
Some of the pieces definitely look at what does it mean to have that cultural experience as an African American and to be in today's politics. I mean, one of our performers, Sharon Bridgeforth, is a playwright and a performer, and she's going to do her own piece, which looks at the spirituality that's involved in African American lives and how that can really save people in some ways. In a funky kind of way.
I love the addition of the comedic approach. I think that is huge. Anything else you want to tell us about the festival, LezWrites? I mean, is this something that would appeal to a broad range of people?
It will appeal to a really broad range of people. I mean, it's a part of the Three Girls Theater Festival, which happens every year at this time, and the audience is usually packed. You know, over 100 people show up, and two segments, so they're there for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and It deals with everything. I mean, families, romance. I love the piece about a young woman who has to find a girlfriend for her ex so she can move on.
That's kind of her.
Don't you think? Uh-huh. So, I mean, it's got something for everyone to think about. How do we manage our lives without a cat? I mean,
that's a really good question. I have 2 cats myself.
That. You can't manage your life without a cat. So we've got a cat in one of our plays.
It's so many subjects. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Jewel Gomez, thanks for joining us.
Thanks,
and for more information on Best of LezWrites 2016, log on to 3girlstheater.org. That is 3girlstheater.org. We're going to be right back with more Bay Sunday after this break.